Patchwork, a textile art of sewing together small pieces of different colored fabrics to create a new combined material.
Hi, I'm Ruvie, a self-proclaimed fashion designer. Welcome and welcome back to my channel. Let's get sewing.
Today I'm gonna be turning these scraps into this cute patchwork hoodie for the spring, and this is the easiest and fastest way to get rid of all your scrap pieces. For today's project, I'm going to be using this hoodie pattern that I have. So I've traced it out, and this is a size small that I'm going to be cutting. So we are cutting for a cropped hoodie. So I'm going to be marking where I'm gonna have the length of the hoodie. I measured 14 inches and marked it on the pattern, and I'm just gonna draw a line across it. Now I'm gonna put together my scraps and start cutting out panels for the hoodie. So I'm putting two of the pieces together, right sides touching, for one side of the hoodie and for the other side for the front piece, where the zipper is going to be in the middle. Cutting the pieces this way makes it way more easier for me and to also not confuse myself. So I'm just gonna trace the pattern outlines onto the pieces, and then I'm gonna lay them on top of the pattern to make sure that the pieces are fitting the pattern. So I misplaced my big scissors, and now I just have to make do with the small ones, but thank God I'm not cutting a really thick fabric. And one thing about patchwork, there's going to be a lot of cutting, so pray for me. Finally, I have all the pieces for the front part of the hoodie. Now we're just gonna put them right sides touching and pin them together, making sure that you're putting the right panel next to the other panel. Now we're just gonna put this aside and get on to cutting for the back part of the hoodie. Using the same technique I used to cut for the front, we're just gonna put the pieces right sides touching. And for this midpoint, I had this big piece that I wanted to put right in the center back. So I just folded it in half. As for pattern, it should be on fold. Now on to cutting for the arms for the hoodie. I am so glad I've located my bigger scissors because the small scissors was about to make me give up. For the arms, I'm going with a horizontal pattern, which I just found to be much more easier than doing vertical pieces. And I want this to be a really quick project. I've already cut out the lining piece for the hood because this was a much bigger material piece. So now I'm going to cut out for the outside of the hood. I also wanted to have the patchwork. I'm using this navy blue ribbing for the bottom and the arms of the hoodie. So a thread got stuck inside the machine where the bobbin goes and it keeps messing up the stitches. Now I have to be a mechanic. This project seems to not want to get done, but I'm not gonna give up. I'm gonna fix this and then get back to sewing. Now that all the panels are put together, I went ahead and overlocked all the raw edges. Now I'm just gonna iron them flat on one side. Now with all the pieces of the arm joined together, we're gonna put it right sides touching and sew along the other end. Now taking the hood pieces right sides touching, we're gonna put them together as well. I cannot lie guys, I really love the way this hood panels came together, and now we're just gonna attach our lining piece that we also put right sides together and sewed along. We're gonna put it right sides touching with the outside piece and make sure that the seams are flat. And now we're flipping it inside out, putting the lining on the inside of the hood. I'm so surprised at how good these colors are looking together. Now we're gonna move on to the back piece and putting the front pieces onto it, and then we're gonna sew. Now back to our ribbon, we're gonna take the longer piece, put it on the bottom, and then the two smaller pieces onto the sides. Each side is the right side, but I fold them in half, and then we're gonna put that together. I had totally forgotten about the arm ribbings, but I just made tiny thin tubes because I want them to be really tight and put them together, and this is how they came out. Now we're gonna put our bottom ribbing onto the hood. Lining it up, I lined it up first with the side seams, and then I'm gonna stretch the rest to fit the middle parts of the hoodie. I want it to be a bit snatched and not too loose. Taking the arm ribbing, we're gonna have it right sides touching our arm and just put it in there. Make sure I line up the side seams and then stretch the ribbing to match the arm. Here is the progress that we have made. The back paneling and the front paneling are actually kind of matching, and I love how everything is just flowing into each other. By putting it on, it's a bit loose at the bottom by the ribbing for my liking, so I'm thinking we're gonna take that in a little bit so that it gives me a little snatched look. Let's try on the arm and see how everything looks together. And guys, I'm just loving the patterns all over this thing. I am so totally gonna eat with this thing. I'm so excited to finish it. Let's get back to sewing. I've went ahead and adjusted the ribbing to my liking. Now we're gonna be attaching the front zipper. We're gonna have the front part of the jacket facing up, right side facing up, and then have the zip right side facing down, and then pin it in place and sew. I like to finish my zippers off with a top stitch, so we're gonna go ahead and do that. The zip I'm using is a little bit long for the length of my jacket, so I'll just have to cut off the other piece later and fix it in place. Now we are going to be attaching the hood to the rest of the jacket. I find adding the hood before the arms to be easier for me. So we're just gonna find the midpoint for the back of the jacket and then line it up with the midpoint of the hood and then pin it all around until it comes and meets our zip. I went ahead and sewed that in place and also overlocked all my inside seams. Now I'm just gonna add my little tag. Finally, we've reached the last part of putting this patchwork hoodie together. Now we're gonna take the arms and have them right side out and then have the body of the hoodie right side on the inside, if that made any sense. And then we're gonna put the arm into the hoodie and then pin it with the right sides of the fabric touching each other.